Welcome back to Standard Stadium in Carrollton, Texas. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy. Also in the booth with us tonight, Rob Johnson, who's going to be spotting for us tonight.
Well, what a step down for that guy. Super Bowl quarterback to having to work with me.
Well, I don't think it's the same guy. But
okay, my bad.
We do have McKinney North taking on R.L. Turner tonight, what should be a pretty nice opening night for high school football in Texas, and quite a strange, almost overcast ride on the way up here. It seems to have cleared out now.
Rained on me when I came up.
Let's talk with John Leidy down there. Let's go ahead and see if John's listening to us. John, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Carrollton Farmer Branch's Standard Stadium. Standard Stadium was built back in 1963, and the Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD actually renovated the stadium in 1993. In 2005, they put this nice field grass turf down, and in 2006, they put the lovely scoreboard with the Jumbotron and the big red letters on it. This year, we're actually in McKinney ISD, or with McKinney North, there's a lot of changes from coach and staff to players. You don't have the Eric Kerbals and the Chase Barretts back. This year we have all new players, all new faces. Even with the coaches, offensive coordinator Bill Poe actually moved on to the mythical national champion South Lake Carroll Dragons. Joe Castillo, who's come back to McKinney North, a former coach when I played, to be the offensive coordinator. Carrollton Standard Stadium, Carrollton's R.L. Turner will be wearing their white uniforms with their blue hats, and McKinney North is going to be wearing the solid blue tops with the solid blue bottoms and the lovely orange helmets. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot. John Leidy down on the sidelines there. He will be your sideline host all season long.
For better or worse.
No, John's a great guy.
Yeah, we're all going to have fun.
We do want to mention one thing. John Leidy used to be a player at McKinney North, and when he was on varsity for 2 years, McKinney North was 7-13. Without John Leidy, they're 18-15. So that's the key, getting John Leidy off the team. Is that right?
Yeah, it turns out that the fans' call for John's head during those first 2 seasons was actually a lot of times, when the fans do that, you have to take it with a grain of salt. And occasionally they'll be right.
No, in all seriousness, John did a great job while he was there at McKinney North. And let's give you the officials for tonight's game. They're in the Dallas chapter. The referee, Bill Megel, and the umpire, Jerry Raymond, the head linesman, Lowell Kratz, the line judge, Randy Newton, and the back judge, Scott Miller, for tonight's contest. We can go over the R.L. Turner offensive starters for tonight's game. The left tackle, Steven Cepeda. Left guard, Sean Williams. The center, Arlen Avicedo. The right guard, Wes Williams, who is 6 foot, 400 pounds. The right tackle, Miguel Cortez. Wide receiver, Juan Santana, Ismail Salas, and Charles Moore. The running backs are Frank DeBose, Michael Jackson, and Brent Bilger. And the quarterback for tonight's game, 5'9", 160 pounds, sophomore Matt Bernal.
That's, I think, where the key in stopping this lies early. It all begins with the quarterback. This guy's a sophomore. Like I said earlier, it means one of two things. Either he's really good or there's a little lack of depth at the position for Turner.
On the defensive side of the ball for R.L. Turner, up front, Angel Castro, Carlos Garcia, and Corey Hall. The linebackers, Brent Bilger going both ways, Denzel Green, Daryl Patterson, and Siri Tim. The cornerbacks, Michael Jackson, Oscar Abreleza, try to say that 3 times in a row, Frank DeBose, and Jario Garcia are the safeties. We'll give you McKinney North starting lineups once kickoff time arises, and McKinney North is coming out of their tunnel. Just the captain's coming out of the tunnel right now. They're about to meet at the midfield stripe, shake hands with R.L. Turner, and do the coin toss. Not a big crowd on hand so far tonight. McKinney North bringing several people, oranging out, on their sideline, but R.L. Turner virtually has no one. The band makes up the majority of the home crowd over here.
Well, again, that was a team that last year struggled in R.L. Turner, winning just one game. And they struggled on offense as well. That's why it'll be interesting to see what this sophomore quarterback, Matt Bernal, can do for the Lions, because at one point last year, Turner was shut out in 4 consecutive games, 175-0. So
Now we're down on the field with the coin toss, and let's go down with Jonathan Leidy.
All right, guys, I'm Mr. Meagle. I'm your referee. This is Mr. Raymond. He'll be your umpire. You're the visiting team. You call it in the air, okay? That's tails. That's heads. All right? What call? You called? Tails. It is tails.
We'll defer to the second half.
We'll defer to the second half.
We want the ball, sir.
You want the ball. Which end do you want to defend?
We'll defend this end.
Defend that end. Turn this way, guys.
Wow.
Right there in the action.
Yeah, it was Aaron Matthews from McKinney North making the call there. And Jay, you'll be able to tell us what exactly happened on that coin toss, who's taking the ball or –
Well, McKinney won the toss. McKinney North won the toss. They deferred till the second half, and R.L. Turner will, of course, be accepting the opening kickoff. And apparently they want to test that offense out early.
Well, let's talk about Sean Pratt for a little bit. He's 37 years old. His hometown is Plano. Of course, he was on that 1986 Plano State Championship team. This is his 7th year at McKinney North. He went to Texas Tech and A&M Commerce. Overall record is 25-28. He was an assistant under Ron Poe at McKinney for 7 years, and basically has got this team running at high octane since taking over a brand new school back in 2002. And here come your McKinney North Bulldogs.
And high octane is a perfect description of the team's offense over the last several years. Of course, an offense that at one point in time, bolstered the likes of Shannon Woods, who played at Texas Tech, and then last year, had a great quarterback in Eric Herbal. And the offensive numbers for McKinney North, whether they're winning and losing, the points have always been high for the Bulldogs, and so it'll be interesting to see if they can continue that offensive trend this year in 2007.
Well, what they say is they're not changing the offense. What they do is just change the style in order to what the kids can do.
Yeah, and that's what I think is going to be key about this season. Obviously, we've seen 2 generations now go through McKinney North. The first generation was very good. The second generation was just as good. This is where we're going to see if it was a unique thing with those kids or if this is a system where it does exactly what you say, molds not the system, but the style of the system to that of the players. And
maybe the bad thing by us, the broadcasters, we've mentioned Eric Herbal 3 or 4 times in this pregame show and have yet to mention Vince Stenko, the quarterback this year. So let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back in a moment and start this kickoff on 97.5 KLAK. A beautiful rendition of our national anthem by the R.L. Turner Marching Band. Now, we were talking before the break about McKinney North's high-octane offense, and let's talk about that a little bit. When McKinney North started in 2002, they averaged 23 points per game. In 2003, they moved up to 34. In 2004, down to 28.9, but that's still a lot. And then 2005, of course, 30. But last year, averaging 41.5 points per game and only giving up 15. And that's probably the key to this football team. If you'll remember, McKinney North, when in its early stages of football, the first several years, yeah, they would score a lot, but they would also give up a lot, and that has changed recently.
Well, and that's the funny thing. You look at those early teams, the win-loss record was fairly indicative of what a first- and second-year team does. The offense wasn't. You rarely – I mean, you take a look at Boyd, for example. You look at what they did last year, that's fairly typical. So what McKinney North did on offense was phenomenal. What they did on defense was typical, and that's why the record looked ultimately the same. And, again, that's one reason why I always said defense wins championships.
And what's amazing is you have offensive coordinators coming and going with this program the past 2 years. Obviously Don Drake started this offense, and he is now the head coach at Boyd. And then last year with Bill Poe coming back as the offensive coordinator, now at South Lake as the offensive coordinator there.
And so the common denominator, of course, Coach Sean Pratt.
That's right. Here come the McKinney North Bulldogs out on the field. They will be moving right to left as they'll be kicking off to R.L. Turner, who will obviously be going left to right. Stephen Meyer talking with the official about to boot this one away. Back deep for R.L. Turner is going to be Frank DeBose and also Jerio Garcia. Both of them standing at the 5. Garcia actually on the 5 and DeBose standing at about the 8-yard line. Stephen Meyer getting the Bulldogs lined up. Now he touches the ball once again, steps back. We'll see if they still fake this Quail onside, and they do, and they fake it. And almost offsides over there is Sam Kimani, but he was able to jump on his left foot and just barely able to not cross that line.
Makes you wonder if he did that on purpose.
Showing great balance there.
Here's Stephen Meyer. It's a low line drive kick. It's going to bounce at the 12 and take another bounce into the end zone. Nobody touched it. So downing it in the end zone is actually, I believe that was Raul Marquez, or maybe it was Siri Tim, and I believe it was Siri Tim.
Well, that's something. The way the college and the NFL structure has it, a kickoff's a live ball, and if you don't cover it, instead that gets in the end zone and it just sits there. You know, the kickoff team can go and hop on it for a touchdown. I guess that's not the same in college. I mean, here at the high school level, because that's exactly the referee did the touchback as soon as it went there. So I thought we might catch a break, just didn't know the rules.
Well, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. R.L. Turner moving left to right. Shotgun formation. He's going to hand off to DeBose, running left tackle, trying to find that outside corner, but he's brought down immediately by Jace Boyd. A nice play on that outside by the defensive end. 6 foot, 210-pound senior. We'll give you the starting lineup for the Bulldog defense right after this next play.
Well, and if you remember the strength of the Dog Pound D from last year, it was the defensive line was really strong, and that's a great job by Boyd of being able to not only keep contained, not letting them bounce outside, but also shedding the blocker and hopping on the ball carrier in the backfield.
Or trying to find out where they're going to mark this. Apparently there was a
penalty hasn't been marked yet. Yeah. Oh,
it's going to be a face mask on McKinney North, so that'll actually go down as a 5-yard gain unofficially. The ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. It'll be first down.
And really almost a 9-yard gain because they had lost 4 yards on that play.
We'll give you the Dog defense right after this play on first down and 10. Going under center now is going to be Bernal. He's going to hand off up the middle, and that may be a fumble on the play. A nice stop by Colton Floyd, Colt 45, but I believe R.L. Turner is back on it. Here is your Bulldog starting defense.
So now it's Chase Boyd, defensive end. Already knows this, linebacker. Colton Floyd, inside linebacker. Todd Dancy, defensive. Ice Pat, DB. Chris Williams, safety. Marquise Wilson, safety.
Second down and 3 from R.L. Turner's own 27-yard line. So we're going to be a sweep to the right side, trying to cut him off over there, and he can't do it. And it is going to be Michael Jackson on the carry for the first down carry. And coming up on the stop for McKinney North is going to be Rodney Nelson, but that was a nice run to the right side.
Well, that should have been a loss. Dante Williams did a good job. Defensive end and corners need to do two things, and that's keep contained. That plays a good example why. Dante Williams missed the tackle. That allowed Turner to get outside and be able to pick up the first down. If you don't keep contained, these linebackers have to run a long way to do it, to make that tackle. And usually you pick up a lot of yards if you lose contained.
First down and 10. R.L. Turner at their own 40-yard line. Bernal goes under center here, and whistles will blow before this one can get underway. And it's a sideline warning, looks like.
Wow, that was a quick trigger.
And normally you wait at least till the third quarter for one of those, but I guess early on in the season they want to make sure and take care of that early on.
And if the official told them beforehand, hey, just get out of the way, they usually do that before you give an official warning.
Bernal, another fumble on the snap, fighting for it at the 40-yard line. Chris Williams comes up with it, and he takes off from the pile, but they blow it dead. McKinney North recovers. That's their first turnover of the year, obviously.
Well, it goes back to exactly what I was talking about in the pregame. Right now, this is a sophomore quarterback, and he does not look seasoned at all. And generally, that's going to be the case. His stance has been off on a couple of the handoffs to his running back. I mean, they've literally hit each other a couple of times, and in that situation, the snap went bad. And that is something that is, for the most part, minus experience a little bit unexcusable. That is something you need to have down in 2 days in training camp.
10:43 left to go in the first quarter. McKinney North will now take over. Stanko at quarterback, moving right to left. No score. Handoff up the middle. Fruit Cole, nothing doing there. Maybe a gain of 1. Here's your McKinney North starting offense.
Houston Beasley, left tackle.
Trent Bledel, left guard.
Taylor Douthit, center. Taylor Honey, O-line. Amadon, right tackle.
Aaron Matthews, tight end.
Chris Allen, wide receiver.
Ty Crump, receiver.
David Douglas, wide receiver. Charles, running.
Vince Stanko, quarterback.
Stanko in shotgun formation. Second down and 10 from the R.L. Turner 40-yard line. Stanko in trouble. Now running back to the left side. That's actually Douglas coming back near side. 35-30. Look out. 25. Down to the 20. 15 and tackled at the 12-yard line. David Douglas. Wow.
That was a nice run by Douglas. He got trapped on the far side. The reason he was able to cut back, Vince Stanko did a heck of a job. Coming out on the backside was defensive end Angel Castro, and Stanko lowered his shoulder and stuck with the guy, allowing David Douglas to get out and pick up a big gain. Again, the defensive end lost contain, and that allowed Douglas to sprint down toward the sidelines.
They'll mark the ball at the 10-yard line. Stanko, shotgun formation. Fruit Cole stands a little bit flanked to his left. 3 receivers to the right side. Stanko looks left, throws left. David Douglas caught at the 5. Breaks 1 tackle down to the 1-yard line.
Well,
we need to mention that David Douglas came into the game 141 yards away from surpassing Colin Beto as the all-time receiving leader for McKinney North.
That was kind of an odd play. It looked like David Douglas was able to get out of a tackle by not moving.
Second down from the 1-yard line, they'll call it. Shotgun formation, kind of an eye set now. Running to the right side, and that is going to be a touchdown for McKinney North. It is touchdown time in Texas for Damon Pitts, 5'9", 183-pound senior.
And wearing
number 21. It looked like Chase Barrett back there.
Yeah.
So your first score of the night is a 1-yard touchdown by Damon Pitts, and your first points of the season, and Sean Pratt's got to be happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a very good series. You saw a little improvisation from David Douglas. He was coming out of the slot position, took the handoff from Stanko, was able to kind of make a couple moves down the sideline. Then he also caught a pass and made a move.
Stephen Meyer's extra point is true. It is 7-0 McKinney North on top. 9:21 left to go. First quarter back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Standard Stadium in Carrollton, Texas. Monty Walker along with the crew here tonight. Let's go over the American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap. It was 4 plays and 40 yards, $1:22 off the clock. And American Bank, the key to your dreams. 9:21 left to go in the first quarter. McKinney North struck early. And that big play basically happened because Chris Williams recovered a fumble.
Yeah, exactly. You give credit to David Douglas, but the defense came through on a play.
Here's a high pooch kick, going to be actually it's going to bounce at the 30. McKinney North says they have it, and they do. No actual indication, and there it is. McKinney North has recovered a pooch kick, which you never see. You always see the pooch kick. You never see it work successfully, and it has tonight.
Well, it came out of the Quail onsides. Normally what you see them do is they'll go up and then go back. And in essence, this was an onside attempt, really. It's kind of surprising the showing against R.L. Turner, who traditionally has not been a very good team, and now you've got it on film. But it worked to perfection. The upmen for Turner were expecting an onside, and that's what you look for in the Quail. And they didn't come right at him, so they kind of banked up, look around, and all of a sudden the ball landed, and no one knew where it was for Turner, and North is streaking down the sidelines for it.
So McKinney North will come out for their second possession, and it's Stanko at quarterback and Damon Pitts in the backfield. David Douglas comes near side. Split out wide right is Chris Allen. Stanko hands off Pitts, spins out of one tackle at the 30. Cuts another at the 25 and goes down at the 22-yard line. He actually did a Tony Dorsett spin right at the line of scrimmage and got out of one tackle and then made a nice nifty left cut to pick up nearly 10 yards, enough for the first down. It's going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, nice little run there, and it was odd. Did you see who his lead blocker was? Vince Stanko again. You know, as much as Erba was tough, I don't know necessarily that I saw him throw 2 lead blocks on a play before last year.
Ball at the 22-yard line. Shotgun as always for Stanko. Drops back 3 steps, flag down. Looking left, throws left. Douglas caught it at the 14, out of bounds there. But check the flag. It's laying at about the line of scrimmage, a little bit behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, it came at the start of the snap, usually an indication of an offsides.
Well,
a sideline warning. So now both sides have gotten a sideline. We still don't know what the penalty is.
Well, the ball right now is at the 14-yard line after the run. So it's a 12-yard gain, actually.
Okay, so apparently that's what the penalty was.
Or an 8-yard gain, rather.
Or what the flag was, obviously not a penalty.
Allen split out wide right. David Douglas near side. Stanko sends Matthews in motion from left to right. He's going to hand off Damon Pitts, running right tackle. Big hole at the 10 to the 5. It is touchdown time in Texas. Damon Pitts on his second touchdown on his third carry, I believe, Jay.
Yes, third carry. He's got 25 yards on the night and 2 touchdowns already.
Unbelievable.
That begs the question. You remember those old commercials from the 90s. Is it the shoes? Well, is it the number?
A 14-yard touchdown by Damon Pitts.
Yeah. They had similar body styles and similar running styles. You know what? This actually might work well for North because Charles Fruit Cole is more of the bruiser. And from early returns, looks like Pitts is the dancer, if you will.
Stephen Meyer's extra point is good, and it's 14-0 with 8:18 left to go in the first quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Standard Stadium in Carrollton. Monty Walker along with the gang. Shotgun formation for R.L. Turner and an incomplete pass. Let's go over the American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap. It was 3 plays, 31 yards for McKinney North. Damon Pitts capped it off on a 14-yard touchdown run, his second of the night. And McKinney North leads 14-0. American Bank, the key to your dreams. 8:18 left to go. 8:03 actually left to go in the first quarter. It was a nice kick return by R.L. Turner. It was Jerio Garcia with a 22-yard return. The ball actually is at the 33-yard line. It is second down after the incomplete pass on first. As a handoff up the middle. And running, that's Bernard actually crosses the 40 down to the 42-yard line before he is taken down by Kyle Dancy and also Chris Williams. It's a first down for R.L. Turner, their first of the night.
Yeah, it's a kind of a curious run there by the sophomore quarterback. He was kind of dancing a little bit, not really running a whole lot. There was a huge hole for him. Don't know if it's one of those inexperienced things where he maybe should have sprinted for it, or if it was his dancing that allowed him to do it. Generally, you'll tell a coach to charge and put the shoulder down.
Shotgun formation for R.L. Turner. Bernal is going to hand off. That's DeBose, and that's Jackson, actually, who's upended at the 45-yard line. And Marquise Millard-Sims comes up along with Jace Boyd to make the stop. 7:25 and rolling here in the first quarter. McKinney North on top, 14-0.
You know, one of the very special things about this North defense, the dog pound D, is the ability of pursuit from the defensive line and the linebackers. There was nothing DeBose could have done there. There was a wall of blue in front of him. There were 4 North Bulldogs and 1 blocker. You know, I'll take that law of averages any day.
It'll be second down and 7 after the 3-yard gain. Shotgun once again. Low snap for Bernal. He picks it up, runs left guard, and he is busted. And it's going to be probably a loss of 1 or 2 on the play. Sam Kamani came up and just nailed him right behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of a yard, they'll say, back at the 44-yard line. 2 yards, actually.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm wondering about something here. It almost looks as if the coach for R.L. Turner McBroom, like this is kind of a rebuilding year for him. This is a very inexperienced team. It makes me kind of wonder a little bit if this is what he's doing is grooming guys for next year and the year after.
DeBose and Jackson in the backfield. Bernal rolls out left, cuts it back inside, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Rodney Nelson is right there. Another loss on the play. There's a flag down.
It's in the backfield, likely roughing.
I think it's going to be roughing on McKinney North. It sure does look like it, and it looks like it's going to be on Zach Gagnon.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating. That would have been a fourth down. We'll wait for the official signal.
No, they're saying holding, and
Okay.
it's declined. Apparently, it was Gagnon that was taken to the ground by the running back, Michael Jackson. So a fortunate break there for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you'll take it. Wow, near penalty on a
And that's a huge penalty
yeah, on
because
a third down.
it's now fourth down and punt on the way. And, of course, on to a punt is Juan Santana for the R.L. Turner Lions. So Santana back to punt at the 28. Snap back, it's good, and a wobbly punt. It's going to be fielded at the 31-yard line by Pitts. He streaks out to the 40, 45, 50, and has some room to run. Dancing down the sidelines, and he is gone.
Damon Pitts scores on that long punt return. It is touchdown time in Texas with 5:34 left to go in the first quarter. And McKinney North, well, are they down or are they not? Somebody said they were down. They lost a lot of talent. Somebody says not.
Well, look at Damon Pitts here.
Damon Pitts says not.
Yeah, that's his third touchdown of the game already. We're still in the first quarter. Looks like a very special talent in that guy.
And a 69-yard return.
A 69-yard punt return by Damon Pitts. And McKinney North has scored once again. Damon Pitts, his third touchdown of the night. Somebody said McKinney North was going to be down this year. I think not. They're going to take a timeout on the field. We're going to take one too. 20-0, 5:34 left to go in the first quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Standridge Stadium. Monty Walker along with Jay Lindley and Brandon Helms and John Leidy on the sidelines down there. 5:34 left to go in the first quarter. McKinney North on top, 21-0. Let's recap how they have scored. McKinney North actually R.L. Turner took the ball first, fumbled over to Chris Williams, who picked it up. And McKinney North took over at their R.L. Turner 40-yard line. It took 4 plays until Damon Pitts scored his first touchdown of the night. On McKinney North's second drive of the night, it only took him 3 plays and 31 yards before Damon Pitts scored on a 14-yard touchdown. And moments ago, Damon Pitts once again scored on a 69-yard punt return. And after the Stephen Meyer 3 extra points, we stand at 21-0 with 5:34 left to go in the first.
Well, got an early candidate for player of the game already. We're only 6.5 minutes into the first.
And we do need to mention, we do have a player of the game this year. It will be the Torchmark Corporation player of the game. And like you said, looks like Damon Pitts is on schedule for that one. Stephen Meyer is going to fake the Quail onside once again and back up. The pooch kick worked a minute ago. We'll see if they try to pooch it once again here. Again, 5:34 left to go in the first, 21-0. Here's Stephen Meyer. He's going to boot a low line drive kick. It's going to be taken at about the 3-yard line, and that's Garcia. And he's going to make it up to about the 19-yard line before Rodney Nelson takes him down.
You know, it just makes me wonder what you do as a coach in this situation. Specifically, R.L. Turner's Larry McBroom. Your team's down 21-0. Obviously, you're a rebuilding club, you know, winning 2 games the last 2 years. And here you are, just a little bit over half a quarter into the game, and you're down 3 touchdowns.
Well, Bernal, the sophomore, will go back in shotgun formation, rolls right, 2 men in the backfield, throws out in the flats, and it's caught and dropped at the 27-yard line. The receiver on the play was Sergio Tamayo, and Tamayo dropped the ball at the 27, so it'll be second down and 10 from the 19.
And that's something that you got to do. Tamayo, there's the junior. You need to help out your sophomore quarterback, and that was actually not a bad pass. It was a little bit ahead of him, but not. I mean, you know, it hit him in the breadbasket for the most part. That's you've got to help him out.
The thing I don't understand is they've thrown on first down twice now, and I really don't understand that. Here's Bernal running to the right side, and he has good room until he's stopped by Marquise Millard Sims after about a 3-yard gain. So crossing the 22, we'll say, 23-yard line is where they'll spot the ball. So it will now be third down and call it 7.
It's been a tough night for Bernard so far. 5 carries, 13 yards, a fumble. He's just really struggled getting it going. And give credit where credit is due. That front 5 of McKinney North, they are doing a great job of being the aggressor on defense here tonight.
And I also give credit to the linebackers. Essentially, it's a front 7.
Yeah.
Well, whistles will blow before this one can get underway. The third down and 7 play will probably turn into a third down and 12. It is against R.L. Turner, and it is illegal procedure.
Yeah, generally that's the case, a dead ball foul, especially during the sequence of an offense-defensive series, not necessarily on special teams, but probably 9 times out of 10 it's going to be an illegal motion false start kind of thing.
21-0 here in Carrollton Standridge Stadium. 4:39 left to go in the first quarter. R.L. Turner trying to do something on offense. They have yet to really be able to establish anything, whether it be the run game or the pass game. McKinney North's defense has been really tough so far. Bernal in shotgun formation, third down and 12. We'll hand off to DeBose up the middle and a big hole. DeBose is going to gain enough to get about to the 25-yard line, well short of the first down. Colton Floyd makes the stop for McKinney North, and it'll be fourth down and punt time once again. 4th and 5, and here comes Damon Pitts.
See if he can do it again. Generally, the law of average indicates he's not going to do it again, but it's a lot of fun to watch when a guy who comes out in his very first punt return of the season takes it 69, got a great block down the sidelines to do it, but still, you had to put yourself in that position.
And it is going to be a low snap, and a punt never got off.
No, there's nothing you can do as a punter like that. They got tremendous pressure on the punter. That's what's odd. Now that we're on that, the Damon Pitts punt return for a touchdown, McKinney North had 5 guys rushing into the punt who got through, and he was still able to. Pitts was to meander his way through the coverage team on his way to the end zone. This time, those same 5 guys came through again, and the punter never had a chance because the snap was low ball to him.
Well, ball at the 14-yard line of R.L. Turner, so McKinney North in pretty good position here to make it 28-0 pretty quick. Damon Pitts in the backfield, along with Stankos in shotgun formation. Look out for Douglas near side. They're going to throw right side, actually, and that's dropped. It's Chris Allen trying for his first catch of the night. It's in and out of his hands. It'll be second down from the 14-yard line.
And you said exactly, in and out of the hands.
Well, and on Allen's part, after he bobbled, he probably did the best thing by not catching that football because he was about to be rattled on the far sideline.
And it looks like David Douglas needs, 126 yards?
24.
124 to pass Mr. Colin Beto on the all-time receiving yardage list. And they're going that way. Stanko, the fade route for Douglas in the end zone, and it is caught and dropped. So it'll be third down. That was a great pass by Stanko. Only Douglas could make the catch, but Douglas didn't make it.
Well, Douglas out there, Alvin Harperd, the cornerback Charles Moore there. Moore thinking, hey, I might have a good chance to maybe pick this off. Douglas just leaps over him. It had to look like he might have been able to bring it down.
Third down and 10 from the 14. Pitts in the backfield. They're going to hand off. No, it's Fruit Cole running up the middle. Now cuts it out left side. He's got the 10, stiff-arming his way down to the 5-yard line. Going to be close to a first down, but about a yard short. Frank DeBose makes the stop for R.L. Turner. It'll be fourth down and Stephen Meyer time.
Well, and you're seeing the big difference there between the running style of Cole and the running style of Pitts. Pitts is the one to dart through, make some moves. Cole was having 3 people try to bring him down for the last 5 or 6 yards of that run. Ended up having about 4 or 5 people who ultimately had to get it done for Turner. And they're going for it?
They're going to go for it here. No Stephen Meyer time right now. It's 21-0, and McKinney North wanting to put a stamp on this one. And hey, we didn't lose that much. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take 1-2. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Fourth down and 1, a toss right side to Damon Pitts, and he can't get it. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. There's a flag down, however,
Preliminary indications looks like it's a holding against North. Odd call, Monty?
Well, maybe a little, but I do know one thing. McKinney North has a.
Well, here's what, if I'm coach, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, you've got the ball inside the 10. Your team's really rolling right now. They're on 21-0. Would let's see, figure the 6-yard line, so it's roughly 23-yard field goal. Would that benefit Meyer a whole heck of a lot, or would you get a lot more benefit from having your offense go in a must-have-to-get-the-yardage situation?
Well, I think anyway,
Going for the dagger.
Any way you look at it here, I mean, R.L. Turner has the ball at the 5-yard line.
Right,
so,
and that's another thing.
So here is R.L. Turner and Bernal in shotgun formation. Fakes, pumps, now throws down the field. He's got his man Moore, and he overshoots him by about 3 steps or more. That's not Moore, actually. That's Solace on the right side. Ball falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from their own 5-yard line.
That was a fantastic job there by the corner on that side. And it's the number 7, who's not on the roster that we had. He did a fantastic job of jamming the receiver up at the line of scrimmage. And then that jam is essentially what made the receiver come up short on the fade pass.
Well, I can guarantee you number 7 is Mike Scott.
Okay.
I'm sure Mike just changed uniforms on us. Of course, wearing 19 last year. But Mike Scott's a great cornerback on the near side. Here is Bernal going to hand off to Michael Jackson coming to the near side, and he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Colton Floyd comes over and makes the stop. Colton Floyd, coming into tonight's game, he had 89 tackles a year ago and 4 sacks and 1 interception, and he will be the leading tackler in this defense.
Well, and it's funny, going back to a pregame conversation we had where I asked you sure Colton wasn't a senior last year and that's not a typo? I mean, this guy, he's been on McKinney North's defense as long as I've been broadcasting North games, and he's very much a leader on that team.
Colt 45. Shotgun for R.L. Turner is going to hand off to DeBose running left tackle, and he had a seam for a moment, and he's going to be stopped at the 10-yard line after a gain of about 3. Marquise Millard-Sims comes up and makes the stop. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.5 for R.L. Turner, moving left to right with $1:39 left to go in the first quarter.
And
4th down, actually.
McKinney's defense has been stellar so far. R.L. Turner, 14 plays. They've been held to just 41 yards, including a fumble, 3 incomplete passes. Right now, the McKinney North defense, they're really handing it to the lines.
Let me help you stop getting some hate emails. McKinney North.
Oh, McKinney North. Yeah,
people will
thank
make sure
you.
you make a difference on that. Believe me, I know.
Here's the end-over-end punt, nowhere near Damon Pitts as they let it roll over to the left side. It does take a nice roll, however, nearly to the 40-yard line. It's going to be dead at the 38.5, call it. So McKinney North will take over just before the end of the first quarter here. It's 1:03 left, 21-0, McKinney North in the lead. And I guess it didn't really matter going forward on 4th down or not because here they are with the ball back already again.
Well, I don't want to go on record as saying the game's in doubt, but that's just a situation. It's the first game of the year. You want to get your guys some experience. Some coaches will do one thing, some coaches will do another. You look at Coach Pratt's track record. I think you'll generally find whatever he does, for the most part, works out.
I'll tell you what, we were here for one of Coach Pratt's most risky moves he's ever made in his entire coaching career. I guarantee it.
One of the gutsiest things I've ever seen.
I've seen it, and I can still see it in my mind's eye right now down here on the right side in that far end zone. They were down 34-33 with no time left against R.L. Turner. Did they kick
and
the
just
extra
scored a
point?
touchdown.
Did they kick the extra point to tie, or did they go for 2 to win? They went for 2 and came up an inch short. This is going to be handoff, and that is a new runner in there for McKinney North, and he's going to be taken down at the 35-yard line. Chris Allen on the end around, and Allen will gain about 5 yards, or 4 yards actually, to the 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd down.
And actually it was a direct snap to Chris Williams, the backup quarterback, 5'7", 145. He just took the direct snap and ran off left side.
Well, and now what you're seeing, Coach Pratt taking Vince out. He's done a good job, 3 scores on his 4 drives. And now putting in the backup, getting him some experience because the quarterback position's not solidified.
Josh Matthews also in the backfield, and Williams is a running quarterback, pitches it out to Matthews, who cuts the corner to the 30, to the 25, and knocked out of bounds there after a 1st down gain. So Matthews on his first carry of the night looks good.
Yeah, nice job by the sophomore. About 5'10", 180 or so, taking the pitch. I mean, that was a textbook quarterback option play for you. Read the defensive end. He was charging on the inside, kept it himself, come out. The cornerback took the quarterback.
You know, that's a pretty nice 1-2 punch when you've got Stanko in there, the big, tall kid who can sling the ball around, and then you got Williams, the speedster, who can just run.
I'd like to see him Williams throw.
Here is Williams, shotgun formation, handoff up the middle, and that is Matthews again trying to shake his way out, but he can't do it, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 after Matthews' second carry of the night.
Another well-run option. The 2 ends came upfield, so Williams did the nice thing and gave it to the up back there.
Well, that is the end of the first quarter. 21-0. McKinney North in the lead here, and man, I thought McKinney North was supposed to be down this year.
Well, they are. Never mind.
21-0. We'll be back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Second quarter time in Texas at Carrollton Standard Stadium. Handoff Matthews for McKinney North up the middle, fighting for yardage and down to the 22-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and about 6 or 7, just inside 12 minutes in the second quarter. McKinney North leading 21-0, and it's been all McKinney North so far tonight.
Well, Turner did get a first down.
Oh, Brandon.
McKinney North, though, holding true to form. You know, last year they outscored opponents 89-25 in the first quarter. Right now, 21-0 after one quarter. So, staying true to form.
Here's a low snap by Williams. He picks it up, and he is fast. Takes it off to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 5-yard line. And Chris Williams picks up the first down after the bad snap. He just took off running up the middle, and, man, he's fast.
Well, you got to give credit there to the middle of the offensive line there as the center, Taylor Dewitt, along with Colton Duncan, the guard, and the other guard, Trent Bryodale, were able to open up the middle for him, and that allowed him when he had to scratch the play to have room to run, turned into a first down.
Here's Matthews, moves to his right. He's going to get the carry, running right side, tackled for him or tripped up for a minute, but spins out of it, nudges forward for a few yards down to the 4-yard line.
Monty, you ever seen that television show Ninja Warrior, where they have to do all these kind of physical feats? It's from Japan. Well, that was a very Ninja Warrior-like thing. His rear end was higher than his front end was, and yet he was still able to gain 3 yards while doing it.
2nd down, high snap this time, and Williams is going to be taken down for a big loss back at the 15-yard line. It was just a bad snap way over the head. He tried to bring it down. By the time he did, he had 2 Lions right on his back.
Well, I'm not quite sure what that play was supposed to be. It almost looked like it was going to be a pass. If that was the case, the protection was very lacking. It almost looked like the way the offensive line was setting it up, it was going to be a rollout to the left, which is why the right side was the one that was able to come through and just pounce on him.
3rd down and 13 for McKinney North, moving left to right at the R.L. Turner 13-yard line. Williams in shotgun, drops back 3 steps, looks across the middle. Now he has all kinds of running room, but he dumps it off, and it's touchdown time in Texas. Ty Crump makes the catch and strolls over to the end zone mark. With 9:42 left to go in the second quarter, McKinney North has now gone up 27-0.
Good job, Chris Williams, the quarterback on that play. It looked like he was about to tuck it, by which case if he was going to do that, may or may not have been able to get yardage. Looked like he would have had a hole. However, he saw Krupp there running a little streak pattern, or not a streak, a crossing pattern on the near side, and was able to just dump it off to him, and he was able to find the way. Now, check this out, Monty. We've had a first carry of the season go for a touchdown, a first punt return of the season go for a touchdown, and this is Crump's first reception, and it goes for a touchdown.
Here's the extra point by Stephen Meyer, and this one that's the best kick tonight so far, up and true, and it is 28-0, 9:42 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Standard Stadium in Carrollton, Texas. Let's do the American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap for McKinney North. 28-0. McKinney North leads here. It was on the last touchdown was 7 plays, 61 yards, took 3 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock. Capped off by a 15-yard touchdown strike from Chris Williams to Ty Crump. And now McKinney North is set to kick off here. American Bank, the keys to your dream. Stephen Meyer will kick off from the 40. The ball is high, actually a low line drive kick. Optical illusion from way up here, and is going to go out of bounds. And that'll be an infraction against McKinney North.
Yeah, it looked like Jerrio Garcia was about to field that one, which would have been a bad idea because it was inside the 15 and there were two blue defenders. And then he had to make kind of a move to dodge the ball, let it go untouched out of bounds. I mean, I hate to say it because he's a senior, but that's kind of the sign of an inexperienced player. You know, you should know where your boundaries are.
Well, R.L. Turner will start off here at the 30-yard line. And that may be the best position that they've started with all night, or pretty close to it. And this will be Bernal in shotgun formation. R.L. Turner moving right to left, and he throws an incomplete pass out to his tight end, or slot back, actually. And it'll be second down and 10 with 9:37 left to go in the second quarter. McKinney North leading 28-0.
Yeah, this is definitely kind of answering the question I had in the pregame, whether it was a lack of depth or whether the kid was just that good. I can't say I very often have seen essentially a screen pass go wide before. I mean, that wide. I mean, the receiver had no chance to grab that one, so it looks like this is a case where Larry McBroom, the coach for Turner, grooming him for next year.
Well, he goes back and shotgun. Has a slot to either side. Low snap, picks it up. Now he runs right up the middle. Bernal is dragged down at the 32-yard line. And Colt 45 once again makes a stop, and we'll say that all year long.
Second time today. And that doesn't mean that's only a second tackle.
You know, you almost kind of want to feel Brent Musburger like when you say that. Old Colt 45. Way down in Texas way.
It almost sounds like I'm drawing a blank, but the announcer for the Rose Bowl. I shouldn't be drawing a blank.
Keith Jackson?
Yes, thank you. Jimmy Christmas.
Well, I think that's who Brent Musburger tries to emulate when he does that. Here's Bernal, drops back, throws it across to the left side. Big running room for R.L. Turner, and that is Brent Bilger, who made the catch, and a late flag. It's going to be on Rodney Nelson, the linebacker. Marquise Millard-Sims was also in the area, but a late flag might have been a late hit.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. The whistle came, and I'm not sure exactly which North guy it was. It may have been Rodney. But the ball carrier stepped out of bounds, took 2 steps, and somebody gave him a shove on the back. And when you only take 2 steps, it may not sound like much, but the guy was off balance, did a face plant into the dirt. That's going to get called 99 times out of 100.
Well, R.L. Turner will now have the ball at the McKinney North 40-yard line, moving right to left. 8:47 left to go in the second quarter clock. McKinney North leading 28-0 here.
And the thing is, that was one of the best plays that Turner had run all day. Very well executed. All the blockers were where they need to be and blocking who they needed to block, and the pass was there.
Bernal, low snap, hands off, in trouble. Behind the line is DeBose, and he is nailed. Rodney Nelson almost takes his head off, and that on the carry actually is Brent Bilger, and Bilger was just knocked silly on that one.
Yeah, and it's tough to say, but it almost looked like Bernal needed to keep that one. Of course, you never know how the defense would react had he done it, but there was a hole for Bernal where there was nothing for the carrier.
Second down and 11 from the 41-yard line of McKinney North. Shotgun Bernal. Stands 5 yards away. Rolls out right, looking to throw down the field. Has a man, and it's intercepted almost. Ooh, I thought that was picked off by Marquise Millard-Sims. That's kind of reminiscent of Highland Park a year ago.
Yeah.
I kind of got ahead of myself because I just knew Millard-Sims was going to make that catch. He was right there.
Now, and the weird thing is Bernal chose the wrong receiver. I mean, he went to the deep route, and there was the corner covering and the safety there. They looked like they were running a man-zone combination where the safety plays the deep, and the middle receiver was open.
Well, third down from the 41-yard line, 8:06 left to go in the second quarter, 28-0. McKinney North leads here. Handoff to the right side, Michael Jackson. No, Bernal kept it, but it didn't fool Colton Floyd.
Rarely will.
And also Sam Kimani was right there to make the stop. And I tell you what, the DPD looks pretty good tonight.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of what we saw last year. And you know what? For those who remember, I'm very much a defensive guy. Very much a defense first. You can do things beyond that. And when you're starting around a defense, if you can get a solid linebacking core together, that's a good block to start and build around. And this is exactly what North has.
Bernal stands about 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, which is at the 37-yard line. Rolls left, tucks it up. He's going to run. And coming in to make the stop is Terrence Hicks, the nose guard. Stops him after about a 4 or 5 yard gain. The ball will be at the 35-yard line. It'll actually turn over on downs as R.L. Turner trying to make something out of that.
Well, and that's the very don't want to say the first test because a couple plays before that, the secondary was tested. But that was a nice job by the secondary. Bernal literally had no one to throw to, and so he had to run it. And if you can get your secondary on this team in good shape, we've seen what the front seven has done so far. And if the secondary does well, this looks like the rankings, those preseason rankings, may not be that far off.
Well, here comes Vince Stanko and Damon Pitts back out on the field. Split out wide right is Chris Allen. Left is David Douglas. Stanko stands at his 30. The line of scrimmage is the 35. He's going to hand off to Pitts. Big hole up the middle. Breaking out to the right side. He's got the 40. Cuts it up 45 down just shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. Damon Pitts finally tackled by Jerio Garcia, but he is like bursting out of a cannon here.
Yeah, it's really funny. That was the first play that McKinney had run on their own territory, and it only lasted once, and it was a 15-yard gain. They're now at midfield.
Well, Pitts has been lighting it up tonight. 4 carries, 40 yards, 2 touchdowns, not to mention the punt return for a touchdown. Unbelievable performance, and we're still halfway through the second quarter.
Hey, 44 more touchdowns. He'll be tied with Barrett. Stanko, left side. David Douglas caught at the 45, down at the 42-yard line. Not enough for the first down, but about a 9-yard gain, 8.5, call it. Ball will rest at the 41 in R.L. Turner territory. 6:38 left to go in the second quarter. McKinney North on top, 28-0.
Well, while Pitts may be close to setting a record this game, I'm going to watch more David Douglas. With that 9-yard gain, he's now 115 yards shy of the receiving yards record.
Some movement up front. Damon Pitts gets the carry, flag down. Only about a 2-yard gain, but enough for the first down. But we'll have to check the flag. There was some movement up front. I did see R.L. Turner jump across, but they could have been drawn.
Now, if they would have been drawn, it would have been a dead ball foul, so it would be offsides. Interesting, though, it almost looked like just if that play was going to be, okay, they jumped, let's just snap it right now, because sometimes the quarterback and the center will have that kind of signal down there, oh, jump, let's do it now. And they were just basically running a play to get the 5-yard penalty.
And it is on R.L. Turner, so it would have been a first down by the run, but now it's by the penalty, so the ball will now be at the 37-yard line in R.L. Turner territory. Stanko, the quarterback, shotgun, as always. Pitt stands to his right. Stanko wants to pass, looks for David Douglas down the field, throws the home run ball and throws it just a little bit shallow. There's a flag down, however, at about the 8-yard line. Douglas went up for it. Oscar Abraliza.
Have fun with that one. Well, what's going to happen?
He had great coverage, actually.
Well, he may have, but one of the other guys around him may not have. Douglas had to try a one-handed catch on that one because the other hand was being held.
Well, when you throw the ball up like that on a fade route, and that's essentially what it is a fade, you really have to throw the ball up. And Stanko kind of threw that one more of a line drive, and Douglas wasn't able to go up and get it as he so often does. The ball will be now placed at the 21-yard line after the penalty on R.L. Turner. It'll be first down and 10. Again, David Douglas not only trying to get 116 yards to break a record, he also needs 3 touchdowns. And he'll move past Blake Mooney, his teammate from a year ago. Shotgun. Handoff, Damon Pitts. He won't share the action. He tries to break out of another tackle and does at the 15 and finally goes down at the 12-yard line, and Damon Pitts just won't go down.
Yeah.
But a flag will at the 18-yard line.
Well, it's curious. It came right as Pitts made contact with a couple of defenders and was able to shed them. It's likely to be in the area of either a face mask on the defense or an illegal hands to the face on Pitts. And you generally don't see that called. Rather, it's going to be a holding, so I'm just completely off base on that one.
It'll be a holding on McKinney North, so bring that one back. 5:44 left to go before half, 28-0. McKinney North in the lead and knocking on the door for more, but this game's starting to get a little sloppy.
Now, that is one scary thing for McKinney North. So far, they've been penalized 4 times for 40 yards. There's been some big penalties there, including a roughing penalty, and then right there you get the holding penalty, a 10-yarder. And, of course, knocking a little bit of the rust off here in Game 1 of the season.
Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up, Monty. If you remember, last year they struggled with the penalties too. That was their big Achilles heel.
Pitts in the backfield. Stanko, the quarterback, shotgun. And he wants to hand off. Pitts up the middle and going nowhere. Stanko might have kept it. It's hard to see. There were so many white jerseys of R.L. Turner there, but we do know that it was stopped in the backfield. Siri Tim on the stop, the linebacker for the Lions. And the ball will be placed now at the 32-yard line, actually.
Yeah, Pitts got that handoff and almost immediately was met by the end, Corey Hall. And he wasn't going to let go. He had a great beat on Pitts.
So second down and a truckload here, 21. And Stanko wants to throw it. Throws it deep to the right side, and it is almost and should have been intercepted by Michael Jackson at the 15-yard line. That was just a horrible throw. Stanko trying to air it out, but that one just looked like a wounded duck from the beginning.
Yeah, it was well short, and luckily cornerback on the play, Michael Jackson, didn't thrill us at all with that one. Pretty much dropped that one down. I'm sorry.
That was bad.
That's the best I could do on the spot. No, I mean, there's really no excuse for that. I mean, that's a jump ball.
I'm speechless after that.
Cool, I'll get the next play if you need me.
Third down and 21. Stanko drops back, trying to set up the screen. Does. Here's Pitts from the 35-30, 25-20. Look out down the sideline to the 10 and out of bounds. Close to a first down. And there's that Arboleza guy again. The cornerback makes the stop, pushes him out. That's going to be very close to a first down. I think he's just short, though. Maybe about a yard short. Needed to get to the 12-yard line, and I think he's at the 13. And they will place the ball at the 13. It'll be 4th down and 1 for the first. 4:38 left to go in the second quarter. 28-0, McKinney North in the lead. Full house backfield. Shotgun, however. Now they're going to move Pitts over to the left side. 4th and 1. Handoff. Pitts running right side. And Pitts trying to find the corner. Trying to find the 5 and finds the 3-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 3 for McKinney North, knocking on the door once again.
Well, and that's exactly what they did around this situation in the first quarters. They went for it. You don't make it not that big a deal. You're really having your way with the R.L. Turner offense. They've gotten a couple of first downs at most, and they're deep inside their own territory. And at the end, it still gives your guys practice in kind of there's a clutch situation.
And on a 3rd and 21, there they converted on that. Yeah. Here's a handoff. Pitts up the middle. It's touchdown time in Texas for McKinney North. And Damon Pitts, his 4th touchdown of the night.
He could have crab walked that in. That hole was so big. The offensive line is doing a great job.
That looked like the mid-'90s Emmitt Smith with that hole opening like that where there was a year in 92 where he scored all those touchdowns, and I don't think 25. He was touched on any of them.
Well, half of them were probably the yard varieties. That's what I'll most remember when I was a kid growing up watching the team.
Well, if Pitts continues on this pace, he will have a shot at Barrett's record by the end of the season anyway.
Well, only 3 rushing touchdowns. That doesn't count.
Well, that is true.
Here's the extra point, and it is true. 35-0, McKinney North in the lead. We're not yet to halftime. 4:10 left to go before the half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Standard Stadium in Carrollton, Texas. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy down on the sidelines. We'll talk to John here in a moment. Let's go over the American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap. 9 plays, 65 yards for McKinney North. Took 3 minutes and 5 seconds off the clock. Capped off by a 3-yard Damon Pitts touchdown run. And Jay Lindley tells me he's on pace for 40 on the year. Damon Pitts. Maybe it's just the number 21. Maybe that's what it is.
Is it the number?
Maybe it's the number. 4:10 left to go before half. Stephen Meyer will boot this one away to R.L. Turner. Garcia takes it at the 10 and is knocked down at the 25-yard line. And R.L. Turner moving right to left right here before the half will have to go 75 yards. Spencer Rogers makes the stop for McKinney North.
That was just a textbook return and really a textbook return team. I guess textbook coverage would be the better way to describe it for North. But the wedge was there, the coverage team was there, and that was really a very typical football play, just a huge mesh of flesh. Just kind of tackled there, and North was able to get the better end of that deal, much like they have all night long.
1st and 10 for R.L. Turner. And now Bernal will go under center for one of the rare times. He's going to turn around and hand it off. Nothing doing for R.L. Turner. Colton Floyd makes the stop. And DeBose was the ball carrier. He did gain 2.5 yards out of that somehow.
Yeah, after he got hit, he was able to still turn forward for those couple of yards.
And that kind of looked like a busted play, Monty, because Bernal turned around, and it looked as though he was expecting the running back to come on his left side. Instead, DeBose showed up on the right, and he just got rid of the ball before the defense just meleeed him.
Yeah, and that's not the first time we've seen mix-ups from the quarterback running back exchange.
Bernal in shotgun. Little misdirection. He's going to keep it right up the middle. Had some room. Kyle Dancy drove him down by the neck. And that'll be a nice gain by Bernal, but not enough for the first down. Dancy, not your normal form tackle there. He just went up with a forearm and just kind of hit him around the head.
Well, it almost looked like he was getting ready to tackle him. Bernal made a little move, and Dancy would have been in position to go maybe for a face mask penalty if he didn't do a quick move, and that's kind of why you saw him hit him in the forehead like that.
Here's the biggest play for R.L. Turner tonight. 3rd and 1 at their own 34-yard line. 35-yard line, and Bernal's going to carry it over close to the first down. Rodney Nelson makes the stop for McKinney North. That one's going to be enough for the first down. They'll move the sticks. You know, we probably should talk down to John Leidy down on the field. John, tell us about the sideline of McKinney North.
This sideline down here is actually very energetic. You got a lot of new faces down here, and they're lifting each other up. The one thing that I see is that McKinney North has actually got only 3 returning starters on the offensive line, and actually for this game too, as All-State tackle Colton Duncan is out for this game. And they've actually got one guy who has never played with the offensive line up until this week, so he's doing a very good job just to be there. Back up to y'all.
We have an injured player down on the field. Thanks, John. Wes Williams, the right guard for R.L. Turner, is down on the field, and if you see the crown kind of straighten out a little bit down on the field, it's because Wes Williams is 6 foot, 400 pounds.
You're better than that.
There's 400 pounds laying on that turf right now. And now he's going to get up and he's going to try to walk it off, and he does. So good to see Wes Williams is not injured. So Williams actually runs off the field there at the end.
Well, that's always a good sign.
It looks like it might have been just a stinger.
So 1st and 10 for R.L. Turner, shotgun for Bernal, and he's going to hand off to DeBose. Now he's going to fake it. Now he wants to throw down the field, and that's more, and he overshoots him by about 5 yards or so.
Tough night for Bernal. 1 for 7 so far tonight. That one completion, a 12-yarder here earlier in the second quarter. He has thrown 2 straight incompletions here in the second quarter, and it has just been tough for the Lions to even move the football on this McKinney North defense.
Well, give it to Marquise Millard-Sims. At least he had great coverage on that play.
Well, I was just about to say the opposite. The intended receiver there, Ismail Solis, got by the coverage team. There was no one behind him.
Rolling out right side, Bernal wants to throw again. He throws it, and it's almost intercepted. Marquise Millard-Sims, if he had a bad play the time before, he had a good play there.
That's good coverage. That's the second time that he's got his hand on the ball, so you can get him his second pass defense of the game. He came up, read that pass beautifully, was able to get a hand on, almost got 2, was able to make something out of that one. If he does bring it down, it's going to be a foot race to the end zone. Likely would have been his first interception would have gone for a touchdown.
You know, we have a new sponsor this year, and it is the Torchmark Corporation, and they are sponsoring the star of the game. And I just don't know who that would be tonight.
Well,
leading 35-0.
4 touchdowns helps.
And there's Marquise Millard-Sims making a bid for it. Picking one off up to the 40, cuts it inside to the 35. Sims hauls that one in. with 2:06 left to go before the half.
Nice 15-yard return after the interception as well. He grabbed it right at midfield, made some nice cuts to get down to the 35-yard line.
And these McKinney North coaches are really happy next door to us. They're high-fiving and fist-bumping. They're having a good time over there, leading 35-0.
They're almost ready to get ready for college football tomorrow. 35-0 with just 2 minutes remaining here till halftime.
What have we got? SMU and Tech on Monday. National audience.
Rooting for the Ponies this year.
Are you?
I should say I've always rooted for them. I'm kind of an underdog guy, and boy, if there's not a bigger underdog than SMU, I'd like to know.
Well, I've always been a Red Raider myself. But here's Stanko, drops back 3 steps, looking right, throwing the ball down the field and overshoots Chris Allen. And the ball falls incomplete, out of bounds. 1:59 left to go. Frank DeBose in coverage for R.L. Turner. McKinney North leading 35-0.
Well, if there's one thing that I've noted, there's actually 2 things that I think North right now probably should focus on in the upcoming week. Obviously, penalties. They've had a few of those today. But the second one is Stanko's. I mean, if there's an obvious difference between this year and last year, it's not at running back, especially the number-wise. But it's Stanko's not connecting with the receivers as much as Eric Herbal used to.
Well, Herbal was unbelievable.
Yeah.
69% of
Tough
his
shoes to
passes
fill.
last year, 62 for his career. Stanko looking left side, throws to Douglas, makes a spin move out, but brought down at the 34-yard line. Abril Liza brings Douglas down. And you really have to say they've done a fairly good job on Douglas over there. I mean, we're talking about a guy who caught 82 passes last year for 1,269 yards and 13 touchdowns.
And still yet tonight 4 catches for 26 yards. So he continues to be a force for that McKinney North offense.
It's not in the yardage.
Stanko drops back 3 steps, looks for Douglas, and this one is caught at the 23, and Douglas goes down immediately. Did not get out of bounds, so the clock will roll here with 1:19. When they move the chains, it will pick back up.
Now, that was a very 2006 North play.
That was.
Douglas made his cut, and right before he made the cut, the ball was already in the air. That's something we saw a lot of, and if you get that timing, obviously it's there between those two. It's only going to get better as the year progresses.
Stanko looking to Douglas. Caught at the 18. Spins out and dropped right there. Going nowhere is Douglas. They're actually bringing over the safety, bringing over the linebacker. They're doing everything they can to stop David Douglas. They're not going to let him beat him.
Well, as much as the last play looked like the timing was very, very good in that sequence, this time around it's not.
Under a minute now, 49 and rolling. 35-0. McKinney North on top just before the half. 2nd down and 6. Looking Douglas' way once again. The home run ball is in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Douglas dropped it in the back of the end zone. And that was a pretty good pass. Douglas didn't haul it in.
Yeah, it was a situation where Stanko had to throw it where he did because the defender would have been in position if it where it normally would have gone. And Douglas did a nice job of reading the pass, cut it back underneath where there was no one. He just couldn't make the catch as he was diving. Not an easy catch.
Obviously working on their passing game here is McKinney North. Fruit Cole is in the backfield, maybe as the better blocker. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Stanko looking Douglas' way once again. Throws over there and it's caught and out of bounds with 32 seconds on the clock. A 1st down for McKinney North, and we'll see how they work this 2-minute offense. And so far they're doing real well.
And if I'm not mistaken, there was a penalty. And it looks like we got another sideline warning, but I'm confused. If it is, I thought the second sideline warning was a penalty.
And
well, it is a sideline warning.
Yeah, he gave the sideline signal, and that's actually a penalty on the.
Yeah,
it's a sideline penalty, so they'll bring it back.
Okay, they're marking it from the original line of scrimmage. I see what they're doing. All right.
So it'll be 3rd down once again. That's, that could come back to cost you in a big game.
Yeah, that's not going to do too much in this situation, but you've got the warning. You need to be extra careful.
That's something that I guarantee will come up in film session tomorrow, I'm sure.
Yeah, you bet.
Right about this time during the film. Shotgun on 3rd down and 11. Fruit Cole. Actually, that's Damon Pitts in the backfield. No, that's Fruit Cole, and whistles will blow once again before this one can get underway. 17 seconds on the clock. The flag was thrown right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
and
again,
it'll be against McKinney North once again.
One of those situations where if there's a dead ball foul, more often than not, it's going to be movement along the line. Could be a delay of game, usually not. It's not as often, rather, as a false start. I'm surprised we haven't seen a delay of game, actually.
Well, now a timeout's going to be called on 3rd and 16. We'll take 1-2 real quick. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Carrollton Standard Stadium. McKinney North has just put another one on the board here.
Yeah, the reason we don't sound excited, that's the 6th of the game.
And it is David Douglas who goes over, and now it brings our new score to 41-0 with 10 seconds left to go before the half.
Yeah, mind, we probably should get a little more excited about that one because what had happened, remember they just got the first down, then there was a penalty, then there was another penalty, and they were essentially looking at a 3rd and 16 at the 20 or so, and all of a sudden there's still a fade pass, and here comes David Douglas catching his first touchdown of the year.
And Stephen Meyer's kick is going to be up and true, and it's 42-0 with 10 seconds left to go before the half. We're going to take another quick timeout. Be back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Carrollton Standard Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy. 42-0. McKinney North in the lead here. And it has been all McKinney North, and I mean all McKinney North.
Yeah, you've got a small section of the R.L. Turner stand. That's the students that are up and making noise, and everyone else is like, oh, man.
McKinney North will fake the Quail onside after the David Douglas touchdown. And David Douglas now needs 2. He needs 75 yards to pass Colin Beto, and he needs 2 touchdowns to pass Blake Mooney. Kickoff's going to be taken at the 7-yard line. That's Garcia, who breaks out of a tackle. And actually, that's Solis once again. Solis will bring it up to the 27-yard line. Only 4.5 seconds left to go before the half. Coaches are packing up their things next door, and we're about to be getting ready for the halftime show. First down and 10 for R.L. Turner. They'll probably just come out here and take a knee, obviously.
If I were a coach, I'd say, why not? Let's say you give up an interception, so it's 49 instead of 42. Just give a guy a chance.
Well,
there might be a situation where at some point in the next 3 years, the quarterback is going to need 4.5 seconds to score a last-minute touchdown. Just give him a chance.
Well, that's what they're going to do. Bernal lines up in shotgun formation. He gets it, rolls out left side. Looking, buys some time, throws it down the field, and it's caught and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Solis makes the catch, but he's out of time. Chris Williams was in coverage, and there is no time left on the second quarter clock. 42-0, McKinney North in the lead. Brandon, what a strange – is this what you anticipated for a first half of this game?
I wasn't necessarily one of those you're thinking, man, this whole team's different. They're not going to be as good. I've got faith in the coaching staff. There's a lot of talent there. But that last play has kind of been symbolic a lot of this game. What was that? An out when you got 4.5 seconds left, obviously not going to do you any good. There's been a lot of things that Turner has done that's been kind of confusing, and then there's a lot of things McKinney North is making them do. And that's how you know your team is really solid, because you may play a bad team, and obviously you'll be able to do what you want, and you play a good team and you can't. But if you can make any team do what you want them to do, make Bernal have to run outside, make the runner have to cut inside, make the defender fall down, whatever. And that's exactly what they're doing. You're in a good position.
Well, I think McKinney North is in a good position with Damon Pitts coming out of nowhere. We thought we'd see a lot of Fruit Cole tonight.
Yeah.
We didn't realize we'd see so much of Damon Pitts. And he has just been unbelievable tonight. I know Jay will give some stats during half, but 4 touchdowns from Damon Pitts. And that's just, if they've got that 1-2 punch all year, this is going to be a lot better year for McKinney North than what some people were anticipating.
Well, and it's funny, too. This is exactly the kind of thing Coach Pratt does. He doesn't readily give you information. You kind of have to pry it out, and if you don't pry it, you'll see something like Damon Pitts going, okay, where'd this guy come from? And that's exactly what happened. This was kind of a trick up his sleeve, and I guarantee you after this game, you're going to find a lot of people in the district now paying a little bit more attention, again, I guess, to number 21. It's just going to be like old times for those guys because this kid has made a lot of moves, and he's earned those touchdowns.
Well, and you have to give it to the guys up front, too.
Absolutely.
Houston Beasley, Trent Bladel, Taylor Douthit, Colton Duncan, and Taylor Amadon. Actually, Colton Duncan is out. He's being replaced by Taylor O'Neill. But we also have to talk about Houston Beasley later. He's going to be our Scholar Athlete of the Week, and we'll talk about him coming up later on at halftime. We're going to take a break here. It's halftime right now, 42-0. McKinney North in the lead, and we'll have some stats and highlights coming up next on 97.5 KLAK.
Bonnie's still taking in that hospitality room. First game of the season, 42-0 here at the half. The McKinney North Bulldogs all over the R.L. Turner lines. And a big part of that, great offense, great defense. We began with the McKinney North defense and that R.L. Turner offense. R.L. Turner held to just 61 yards on the ground on 17 carries, 2 of 10 through the air. And Brandon, just a grand total of 84 yards on 27 carries. That's barely good for 3.1 yards per play. As for McKinney North, well, it is, again, the offense really probably not as sparkling, but their starting field position throughout the night, they've been setting for the most part, with the exception of that one drive starting on the 50. And with that, 179 yards on 32 plays. That's good for 5.6 yards per play.
Welcome back to Carrollton Standard Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and John Leidy and Rob Johnson tonight. McKinney North leads 42-0. Here I am. I'm thinking about a win already.
Well, I mean, it's
you're ready to start the bus right now.
Here we go. The bus is rolling in Monty Walkerville. Let me tell you.
I don't want to sound insensitive here, but what R.L. Turner has shown us in the first half, I doubt they could overcome a 10-point deficit, let alone 42.
Well, they will be kicking off to start the second half here, and booting it will be Cade Holmes. The right-footed kicker will bang this one high, and it's going to be taken at the 17-yard line, and that looks like Damon Pitts. Nope, that's Matthews. He cuts it up to the 33, trying to break out again, and he'll go down at the 35-yard line. We'll want to talk about Houston Beasley real quick. He's our tutoring club Scholar Athlete of the Week. He has a 4.9 GPA on a weighted 4.0 scale, and his SATs are well over 1,300.
Yeah, I hope they're well over 300.
Well over 1,300.
Minimum score if you don't answer single questions.
All right, leave me alone. I'm trying to dust the rust off here in week one, but Houston Beasley, our tutoring club Scholar Athlete of the Week, with a SAT score of way over 1,300. So congratulations to him. Handoff up the middle. Fruit Cole, big hole up the middle of 45 and dropped right there after about a 10-yard gain. It'll be very close to the first down on the stop for R.L. Turner is Jerry Garcia.
Well, good to know the Lions are picking up right where they left off. Solid blocking up front again by the offensive line. They've really done a tremendous job against the front, really even 7 of the Turner team. And they're allowing guys like Pitts and Cole to do what they're doing.
18 carries for 90 yards as a team so far tonight, and that offensive line has been a force up front.
Here's Stanko. He's going to hand off. Damon Pitts running left side, bottled up at the line of scrimmage and dropped after about a 1-yard gain. It'll be second down and 9. And a nice play out there by the outside linebacker. We'll say Corey Hall. And also Brent Bilger comes up and makes the stop.
Well, part of that play, you're right, was made by the end Hall. He didn't allow Contain to get outside. And here's the thing, just one play after we say how good the offensive line does, they decide to go outside. And, you stick with what works. Let's keep running it up the middle.
Second down and 9 for McKinney North, moving left to right. Stanko, 4 yards deep. He's going to hand off. Damon Pitts up the middle. Running left tackle, breaks out of 2 tackles, crosses the 50 to the 49. It'll be third down and 5 after Denzel Green, the linebacker, makes the stop. 5'10", 70-pound sophomore.
Yeah, and again, that's exactly what I made reference to last play. Run it up the middle. You know, I mean, that hole was opened up again by the offensive line. They're doing exactly what they need to do. And this is a good sign that game one, again, you know, Turner is what they are, but that they're doing what they're doing against them. That's a good sign.
Stanko with 2 men behind him this time. This is an unusual set for McKinney North. And he's going to hand off to Fruit Cole. Big hole to the right side, down to the 40, down to the 36-yard line. And Fruit Cole, man, Jay Lindley, you could have run right through that hole. Frank DeBose makes the stop. And let me tell you, Jay Lindley is about 5'8", and about
225 these days, Monty.
And let me tell you, Jay Lindley could have barreled right through that hole.
I like to say I look like Jerome Bettis.
Well, Fruit Cole does a little bit himself, and he barrels his way for a first down. Shotgun, Stanko, handoff, Damon Pitts. That's Fruit Cole, and he stumbles behind the line of scrimmage. He just lost his footing there, as Corey Hall will get credit for the tackle, but Fruit Cole just had his feet fall out from under him.
Yeah, and if you look at the formation that they're doing these last couple of plays, they've got both Cole and Pitts on the sideline. That took me back to a comment that you said in the pregame. What Sean Pratt likes to do is run a system and then form that system around the players that he has. He's got 2 good runners. Stanko not as good a passer as Herbal. Now you're seeing 2 backs in the backfield to better suit the system.
Stanko and shotgun wants to throw this time. Throws out, and it is caught on the right side by Chris Allen, and he's going to be close to a first down, pushed out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Jario Garcia makes the stop, 5'6", 135-pound senior on Chris Allen, the 6'2", 190-pound junior.
And now what it looks like North is doing is running to set up the pass. You've got the guys coming in tight, and what Allen did there was run a simple out. And there was nobody there but the cornerback, and he was out of position because they're expecting the run now. And that's what you can do if you've got a good, solid run team, is that it'll allow Stanko to loosen up in the passing game.
David Douglas split out wide left. Aaron Matthews in the slot. Stanko will hand off to Fruit Cole, left tackle. He runs right off the left tackle and gains obviously enough for the first down before Frank DeBose brings him down. A nice 8-yard gain.
8-yard pickup on that one, Monty.
And this is exactly what you want. Right now you're in a comfortable lead. You don't want to drag things out. You've seen lots of runs. What that does is it drags out the clock. Now you're able to start controlling the game. You're essentially, in a way, pythoning the Lions. You're squeezing the life out of them, and that's exactly what a good run control ball club can do.
Well, this is an offense we haven't seen before. 2 men in the backfield, Pitts and Fruit Cole, standing just behind Stanko. And Stanko's going to hand off, and that's Pitts running right tackle. And he's got a crease. And when he needs a crease, he gets one. And he barrels his way down to the 8-yard line. Brent Bilger makes a stop for R.L. Turner. And then close to another first down, just shy of the first down. It'll be second and about a yard for McKinney North, moving left to right, leading 42-0 with 8:04 left to go in the third quarter.
That was a great misdirection play there, because what they did is they faked the handoff to Fruit Cole first, got the defense leaning in that direction, then just simply pivoted, gave the ball to Pitts, who ran it up the middle with a nice little crease because the defense was on the wrong side.
Here's that 2-back set for McKinney North. Stanko, shotgun, handoff, and that is Pitts running right guard. Now it's more right tackle as he cuts it outside, and he's bumped after about a 2-yard gain. Enough for the first down, so it'll be first and goal from about the 6.5, 7-yard line as Jario Garcia makes the stop for R.L. Turner. And just about every play we can say Jario Garcia, because he's about the only man over there making any stops.
Well, and that's exactly what you need your good safety to do. He plays on the strong side, and so what that does is that you generally put your more physical, more reactive safety over there, because more often than not, that's where the play is going to go. And I want to go back to that last play, Monty. Again, you saw Vince Stanko giving a key block because Pitts did a little juke move in the backfield, and because Stanko got the block, that allowed Pitts to get a little seam between him and the runner, the tackler, rather.
Look out, David Douglas. He needs 2 touchdowns. They're going to hand off to Fruit Cole, and he's going to be he might have fumbled. He did at the 1-yard line.
Oh.
And picking it up is Jario Garcia. Fruit Cole had a touchdown. He was rolling into the end zone and lost the ball at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, he picked up 6 of the 7 yards needed before just dropping it right at the goal line. Don't know if someone got a hand in and just knocked it loose.
That's exactly what happened. He was headed toward the goal line, and it's not. He wasn't carrying it firmly, but he wasn't holding it like a loaf of bread either. One of the Carrollton defenders, and I didn't catch exactly who it was able to get a hand in there and pop it out. And there's not a whole lot you can do when you're a carrier like that.
Well, they do take 4 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock, but it's all for naught. No points for McKinney North, and now R.L. Turner will run up the middle, and that's going to be the quarterback, Bernal, and Colton Floyd makes the stop for McKinney North, and get used to hearing that all year if you're a McKinney North fan. 7:06 left to go in the third quarter. McKinney North on top, 42-0. And I'm glad Sean Pratt decided to run the football a little bit because he could make this game very, very, very long if he wanted to.
Well, and that's the thing. Right now, you don't necessarily need points. Yeah, obviously you don't want Fruit Cole to fumble at the 1 yard line. That's not a good thing to do. It's not a good sign for what's to come. But ultimately, they took 4 minutes off. That's great.
This is Bernal throwing it down the field. He overshoots his receiver, Solis. It'll be third down. Kyle Dancy in coverage for McKinney North. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, I think sophomore quarterback Matt Bernal is also glad Coach Pratt ran a little clock there. He's had a tough evening so far tonight. Bernal, 11 carries, 34 yards, a lot of times really running for his life, running from that McKinney North defense, and then passing the ball, 3 of 11 for just 23 yards. So it has been a long night for the sophomore quarterback Matt Bernal.
3rd down and 7. R.L. Turner down 42-0. 6:32 left to go, third quarter. Shotgun formation for Bernal. He'll get it and roll right. Wants to throw. Throws it out, and it's almost intercepted by McKinney North. And it looks like you always want to say Marquise Millard-Sims is in the area, but I don't think he was that time. Duante Williams was in the area of that one, and it's 4th down, obviously, for R.L. Turner. They'll be punting right to left. And I tell you what, the hardest working R.L. Turner people tonight may be the drummers over there in the band. They're really they may be getting the best workout of anybody tonight.
Well, the nice thing about this R.L. Turner football team is they have a band.
Here's Juan Santana back to punt. Stands at his 1 yard line. It's almost blocked. It's a high wobbly kick. It's going to be taken at the 46 yard line. And Chris Williams darts and dashes and makes his way up to the 42 yard line of R.L. Turner. Some late hitting going on, but no flags are down. It was going to be Corey Hall who finally makes a stop on Chris Williams. So McKinney North will take over with 6:08 left to go in the third quarter. They're up 42-0.
That was a case of Williams running 20 yards to gain 3. He really had nowhere to go. He danced around a lot, ran a lot of clock off before finally going down.
42 yards away from pay dirt. They have 42 points right now. We'll see who comes out, whether it'll be Stanko or whether it'll be Chris Williams or not at quarterback.
And Stanko's really had a terrific evening, though, overall. I mean, they put him in the position to make the throws he can make. He's 10 of 15 tonight for 98 yards and a touchdown. Not a bad performance on opening night.
Especially for his first start.
Well, it'll be Chris Williams in at quarterback. And standing behind him is going to be Matt. That's Fruit Cole actually again. And Fruit gets a handoff right back to work for Fruit. And he'll go rumbling up to the 41-yard line. Angel Castro on the stop for R.L. Turner. A gain of about 2 yards on first down. We'll bring it up to the 40-yard line.
And this is something that's not going to happen a whole heck of a lot this year. This is the second possession for McKinney North, and it begins halfway through the third quarter. You know, normally they're scoring by a couple times halfway through the quarter.
Cole and Williams in the backfield. Now Cole shifts over to the left side. Chris Williams is going to keep it up the middle, and he's got a seam up to the 30-yard line. A nice, at least 10-yard gain for Chris Williams as Michael Cunningham makes a stop for R.L. Turner, the backup linebacker, into the game. And Chris Williams moves the sticks after a 10-yard pickup.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do. Just churn it out. You know, not that this will happen, but ideally what you'd like to do, get 10 yards, take 3 plays to get it done, just wind that clock down. And right now what they're specifically doing is working on the running game with the second team.
Fruit Cole into the game. He had 377 yards on 48 carries a year ago. And Chris Williams gets the call once again. He's belted at about the 27-yard line by Jario Garcia, but still fights and gains another yard after that, and he's going to be wrestled down at the 20. They'll call it the 26-yard line, 26 and a half probably.
Yeah, lost his helmet during the play, and I should really rephrase that. It's not really the second team. The offensive line's out there. It's the second person in the quarterback depth chart, giving him some experience, and that way giving us some game situation and finding out who ultimately the starter for district's going to be.
You know, and this happened a lot last year even. They switched out a lot of guys. Here's Matthews into the game, and he gets the carry up the middle. He's at the 15 and down at the 12-yard line. McKinney North offense they're actually doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a time or two in this quarter where they gained it maybe a yard or two, and this is what I made reference to at the end of the first half. McKinney North is doing what they want to RL Turner, and that's the sign you're doing exactly what you need to do.
Well, 14 first downs in this ball game alone so far, and as for Matthews, 5 carries for 31 yards. Nice effort coming off the bench tonight.
Well, a 13-yard gain right there for Matthews brings up a first down at the 13-yard line. Moving left to right, McKinney North with exactly 4 minutes left to go here in the third quarter, up 42-0 over RL Turner, and it's like varsity versus the freshman is what this has basically been all night. This is Chris Williams running the option left, and he's going to keep it and tuck it up, and he's at the 10-yard line. He gains about 3 yards on first down. Carlos Garcia makes the stop for RL Turner. We're about 3:37 now and rolling.
Well, and that was a very well-defended play there by Turner when we're talking about North doing what they want. They didn't on that play. And part of the reason why we didn't say his name and we weren't going to, Brian Salcedo defended the option perfectly, went to the pitch man. There was nothing that Williams could do there but keep it and get minimal yardage. All of 3 was really not minimal.
Fruit Cole in the backfield. High snap, handoff. Fruit. No, Chris Williams keeps it a running right guard. Spins out of a tackle down to the 2-yard line, and he's going to be stopped and pushed back after that. Jario Garcia on the stop again. If that young man doesn't lead the world in tackles by the end of the year, maybe only Colton Floyd will be ahead of him.
Well, and that's not good when your strong safety's leading in tackles. I mean,
that's the difference. That's the difference in the two teams.
Bingo, yeah.
You've got a safety leading your team in tackles in RL Turner, and you've got a linebacker leading your tackle for McKinney North, and that's a massive difference.
That's not to say that your safety shouldn't have a high tackle number. He shouldn't lead. That ultimately, ideally, should go to one of your linebackers. We've got a measurement here, Monty.
We also have to remind you, this is the third year that Kenny Duck has been the defensive coordinator of this McKinney North team, and he has tremendously reduced the amount of points scored on this team.
Well, and it's funny, when I first stopped over, of course, North hadn't made a playoff season yet, and, of course, the defense was like, the talk was the defense wasn't that great, blah, 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 blah. Well, I've only known McKinney North to have a good defense, and so the fact that he's been here since I have, I mean, you've got to give credit to that. And like I said before, common denominator, in this case, good defense, Kenny Duck, not good defense, not Kenny Duck.
Well, let's just say they gave up 33, 34, and 34, and then when Kenny Duck got here, it went to 26 and 15, and now none.
Well, odds are the average won't stay the same. But
well, this is going to be Williams, and he's going to hand off to Fruit. No, that's Matthews, and he jumps over and into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas for McKinney North with 2:24 left to go in the third quarter. That puts it 48-0, awaiting the PAT. Wow, what a rout.
Well, according to Jay here, as he's getting the final stats, just short of a 4-minute drive, and that was a possession that started at midfield. Nice ball control offense, so it's nice to know that when the Bulldogs need to, they can. And this is really a good situation where you put that into practice in a game-time scenario.
Stephen Meyer on for the PAT. With 2:23 left, it's high, and it is very good, 49-0. What a rout. McKinney North over RL Turner. 2:23 left to go, third quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Standard Stadium in Carrollton, Texas. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and the rest of the crew. Stephen Meyer boots this one pretty high, but not very deep. It's going to be taken at about the 12-yard line, coming to the near side. And that's Ismail Salas, cuts it back up inside. A nice return up to the 33-yard line. Mike Scott makes the stop. An end-over-end type stop, and Rodney Nelson also there.
Scott on the stomp. Say that 3 times fast. No, that was a good job there by our Turner's return team. They set up a nice little seam for Solis to run through, and if they can do that, I mean, at this point, what you have to do for your Turners, you have to take small victories and work on that. If you can start building that into something else, that'll start momentum down the way, and that's really where they need to start. I mean, this is a clunker of an opener for them.
Well, they are married to this quarterback because he's still in the game.
Yep.
That is Bernal. He throws a screen pass out to Solis, who spins out of one tackle, but really busted down hard by Kyle Dancy at the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of only 1 for R.L. Turner, and that's how it's been.
Yeah,
you complete a pass finally, but it's for 1 yard.
Well, and actually that was to Charles Moore, so it looks like they're just a different. It's 9 instead of an 8. But what it is they're trying to mix it up because what they've been trying to do is not working. But the thing is this dog defense is really solid from line to secondary.
Well, there's kind of a busted play from the get-go. I think it was a bad snap initially.
That's the second time today.
And Bernal falls on it, and it'll be third down for R.L. Turner, a loss of about 1. So it'll be third down and 10, a $1.19 and rolling here in the third quarter. McKinney North on top, 49-0. We had a score from Sulphur Springs. McKinney leading Sulphur Springs 13-12. 14-12.
Yeah, so that's a good start for the Bulldogs.
Shotgun.
Lions. Whoa. Don't email me.
Yeah. There's a screen pass out, and that's going to be sniffed out by Kyle Dancy. It was a screen pass to Brent Bilger, who made the catch, but I think Dancy stopped him for a loss.
Yeah, and that's, again, going back to what I was saying. This defense, and the offense too, for that matter, they are doing what they want. I mean, that was going to be a screen pass. What was that? Did I see another sideline warning? I mean, I looked up right as the referee was making the play.
Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see the infraction. I didn't even see the flag on the field.
I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe he made the hand signal for unsportsmanlike with the hands going out to the side, but we will see.
Yeah,
the penalty was on McKinney North.
Well, if it's an unsportsmanlike,
it'll be automatic first down.
Yeah, and we've got the punt team on?
And that is going to be a first down. That is.
Yeah.
And
okay. Burnell went to talk to his coach. Never mind. All right. Well, now that we've got you thoroughly confused.
Well, the ball will now be placed at the 49-yard line still in R.L. Turner territory.
And I believe it was unsportsmanlike. That's a 15-yarder that they just picked up. 7 penalties for 65 yards tonight against McKinney North.
You know, and there's no excuse when you're up 49-0 for an unsportsmanlike.
Bernal wants to throw down the field, and he way overshoots his man once again. Kyle Dancy on coverage. He was trying to hit Solis, I believe. Those 8s and 9s are pretty tough to figure out down there, but I believe that was Solis.
Yeah, and that was great coverage. Again, coming from Dancy. The reason why that fade pass was overthrown, not necessarily because the quarterback, well, if you get jammed to the line of scrimmage, you have to adjust, but that's exactly what happened is that Dancy disrupted the timing of that play, and a fade pass is very much a timing pattern, not necessarily of that of the out, but you know that's one reason why Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman worked so well is the timing was there.
Bernal rolls out right, throws it down the field once again. This time he overshoots him only by about 3 steps. Mike Scott on the coverage, right on the heels of the receiver out there, and tell you what, Mike Scott's dad played cornerback professionally, and you can tell it kind of runs in the blood over there.
Yeah, and that situation, he didn't get a good jam, but I don't necessarily know that he was trying to. He just stayed with the receiver step for step. There was no way that Charles Moore was going to come down with that ball. It just wasn't going to happen because of the coverage of Scott.
Bernal here in the second half is just 1 of 5 passing, 3 of 15 for the ball game.
You know, I might want to start thinking about some other offense than a spread. At some point. Here's the spread offense, and this is going to be a handoff to DeBose running right side, cuts it back inside. He's got some room, and it's going to be tackled at about the 44-yard line by Sam Kamani. And that's not enough for the first down. It's going to be shy by about 4 yards. It'll be 4th down, and at some point, well, that's going to be the end of the third quarter, but at some point it'll be interesting to see what they do. They've got to go for it here, you would think. I mean,
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Turner will not score 49 points. Go for it. You got nothing to lose.
Well, 49-0. McKinney North leads right now. We're going to the fourth quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Carrollton Standridge Stadium. Monty Walker along with Jay Lindley and Brandon Helms, John Leidy, and Rob Johnson, and everybody up here in the booth and down on the sidelines. Thank you for joining us tonight. Here's R.L. Turner handing off. Running left tackle is Brent Bilger, taken down immediately in the backfield by Jace Boyd. And Jace Boyd's played a pretty good game tonight for someone who wasn't a starter last year. Boyd has played a pretty good game on that outside. And
again, didn't let the runner get out, held contained on a key fourth down situation. But hold on. Not a key. It was a fourth down situation. I'll say that. They're at 49-0. But, again, that's exactly what you want to see. You're not able to allow the tackle or the tight end. I don't think there was a tight end in that situation. You're not allowing to get the edge on you. And what you do is you stretch out the offense, which in case allows the defensive, the linebackers, and especially the good ones in this situation, Colton Floyd and Rodney Nelson, to run an effective pursuit. And that's why he lost yardage. It all starts with the end.
Ball at the 47-yard line in Turner territory. McKinney North moving right to left now in the fourth quarter, 11:52 left to go. And Chris Williams is going to hand off up the middle, making his way to the midfield stripe. Is going to be the ball carrier, who I have yet to identify. And that's going to be Matthews. And guess who makes the stop? Jerrio Garcia.
And he's not a relatively big kid at all.
Garcia's 5'6", 135.
Not what you expect out of a strong safety. Obviously, he's a senior. Well, maybe not obviously. He's a senior, and so that's why he's able to be where he is. He's kind of got that experience.
Williams in shotgun, hands off Fruit Cole, big hole up the middle, barrels his way down to the 45-yard line. And I'm tired of saying it, Jerrio Garcia on the stop. But it's a good thing because he's a safety. If your safety has to make every tackle, then obviously you're doing something right.
Depends on which side you're on. Obviously, comment would go if you're on the Turner side, and it's a good side when you're on the north side. Hopefully we'll be saying that all year.
Now into Turner territory. It's going to be a handoff to Matthews, who gains enough for the first down up to the 41-yard line. Denzel Green, the linebacker, makes the stop. And somebody other than Jerrio Garcia makes the stop.
Matthews off the bench, 8 carries, 40 yards. So, of course, we brought up Fruit Cole. Cole, 9 carries, 55 yards. The offense really doing it on the ground tonight.
Fourth play of the drive for McKinney North, moving right to left. Shotgun, 2 men in the backfield, high snap. Chris Williams wants to throw, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Carlos Garcia. Wonder if he's related to Jerrio Garcia.
Well, they're both seniors, so unless they're fraternal twins because they don't have a similar body style, I'm going to go on and say no.
162, 248. The other one is 5'6", 135.
Hey, maybe the genetics were split there a little bit.
Well, again, they could be fraternal twins. I mean, I known twins that one was 6 foot and one was 5'4".
Well, that's about the difference here.
Yeah.
Shotgun, handoff. That's Fruit Cole, and he barrels his way down to the 34-yard line. Tell you what, Fruit Cole, you know what we haven't seen tonight? And this is very rare for an opening night.
A cannon?
Well, cramps.
Yeah.
Normally, you always see cramps on the first night. We have not seen one kid down with cramps so far.
Stephen Mayer might be getting close.
Or we might have had the 400-pound Wes Williams. That might have been what was wrong with him.
That's very true, yeah.
Shotgun, Chris Williams, hands off up the middle, and Matthews once again gains just about enough for the first down at the 31-yard line. Jerrio Garcia on the stop.
Yeah, if we're going to nominate somebody to get cramps, it's either going to be that guy or it's going to be Stephen Meyer because he's kicked 7 extra points.
The most likely to get cramps. Or it could have been Damon Pitts early on in this game.
No, he's still going. Maybe not now, but in the third quarter he was.
That is first down number 17 for the Bulldogs.
Ball at the 31-yard line. Moving right to left, 9:04 left to go in the game. Shotgun, 2 men in the backfield. Chris Williams, handoff, and that's Josh Matthews again, fighting for more yardage. Crosses the 30, down to the 28, maybe 27-yard line. Gain of about 4. Juan Santana makes the stop for R.L. Turner.
Well, and this might be a little bit of a concern if you're McKinney North, because they've made – well, I don't know if they've made it or if the Turner defenses haven't been, but there's been a lot of missed tackles. And that may be an indication of what the runners are doing, or maybe the defense isn't that good.
2nd down and 7, handoff, and that's going nowhere. Josh Matthews is going to lose. Well, no, they're going to lose. He's going to lose about 4 yards as Michael Cunningham makes the stop for R.L. Turner off that right side linebacker position.
Well, all the juking in the world wasn't going to get Matthews out of that one.
Yeah, just about to say the announcer jinx worked again. Of course, as soon as you say something.
There were 5, 6 white jerseys in his face.
Garrett Bottlinger into the game as a slot. 3 men in the backfield, including the quarterback. This is going to be a handoff running left side, and that's Fruit Cole. And he stumbles and bumbles down to the 20, and he lost the ball again, but they're going to say ground can't cause a fumble as he hit the ground first, and then the ball came out. Frank DeBose was there to make the stop. It's going to be close to a first down, maybe about a yard short at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, now we're seeing all sorts of different numbers out there off the starting line.
You know, that was our only issue with with Fruit Cole last year was the fumble factor, because he had one of those games, I believe it was Frisco Centennial, where he had a couple of miscues, and that may have helped Frisco Centennial along the way. I may be having my games mixed up, but I do remember a couple of fumbles by Fruit Cole.
Well, and he had one earlier right at the 1-yard line.
That would have been a sure touchdown.
Yep.
Timeout has been called on the field. We'll take one, too. 7:01 left to go in the football game. McKinney North leading R.L. Turner 49-0 on 97.5 KLAK. A 39-yard field goal attempt by Stephen Meyer is blocked and nearly returned back for a touchdown if it weren't for a great tackle at the 40-yard line by McKinney North. And R.L. Turner will take over at their own 40, moving left to right with 6:51 left to go in this football game, down 49-0, shotgun. And that's going to be Bernal, and he's in trouble and dropped for about a 5-yard loss behind the line of scrimmage. Josh Washington makes the stop.
Yeah, going back to that field goal real quick, it was Chris Williams who allowed the shutout to continue, because if he doesn't make that play, Stephen Meyer's out of position, and it's a foot race down the sidelines. Even in this situation, North can take a positive out of a negative. You know, the field goal was blocked, obviously a negative, but in this situation, Chris Williams with the heads up enough to make the tackle on a quick turnaround situation.
2nd down and 15 from the 35-yard line, 6:13 left to go in the game. R.L. Turner moving left to right. Bernal drops back one step, looks right side, throws that way, and throws over the head of his receiver once again. Mike Scott on the coverage. Bernal was trying to hit the receiver over there, Justin Granger, but again threw it too high. You know, it's like Brett Favre back at Texas Stadium 15 years ago, where he just couldn't. You would think there's this humongous crown in the middle of the field because he's overshooting everyone.
Yeah,
but that's just a sophomore quarterback for you.
Well, and again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. This has to be a situation where Coach Larry McBroom is grooming for the future. You know what? Sometimes you have to bite on a season to get better for the next one.
Or in R.L. Turner's case, about 15. Here's Bernal running over right guard, cuts it back inside, crosses the 40 to the 43-yard line. Mike Scott makes the stop, and that'll bring up about 7 to go. So it's going to be quite a task for R.L. Turner here. Yeah, I don't mean to keep badgering and keep jumping on R.L. Turner, because they haven't been a really good program over the past 20 years. I mean, the last time R.L. Turner went to the playoffs was 2000, and that was their first playoff appearance in 23 years.
Yep. Had a good, decent streak there.
5:23 left to go, and this is going to be Bernal again, and he's a pretty good runner, and he runs right up the middle here. He's going to be dragged down just shy of the midfield stripe. Not going to get the first down because Colt Floyd, or actually Madison Middleton, makes the stop.
And you can see why this kid is starting. He has the ability on certain plays to do something, and then he has the ability on others to not. He didn't get quite enough there on 4th down. Probably came about a half yard short. But he took his time, and on 7 yards picked up about 6.5, and so he was able to do almost enough.
And it's just been a long night
Yeah.
for Bernal. I mean, 15 carries, 42 yards, and like we pointed out, some of those runs were more desperation than they were design. Passing the ball, it's been a long second half. He's completed 1 of 6 passes, 3 of 16.
Hey, Monty, by the way, I just want to give you a quick compliment. You look fairly snazzy today.
Well, Brandon, thank you very much. It's because of our Germain Designs uniform.
Oh, okay. I knew it was something.
Well, that was pretty cheesy, wasn't it?
I'm sorry.
We'll get back to that in a moment. Here's Fruit Cole up the middle, and he skips and hops down to the 45-yard line for about a 5-yard gain. McKinney North took over at the 50, and Michael Cunningham makes a stop there. Yeah, check out Germain Designs. They provide our wardrobe every year. They have us in nice polos this year with a big, thick white stripe down the sleeve. They've embroidered our names and logos on our shirt. Go see Germain Designs in Denison. They can embroider anything for you. And they also have a new location over in Bonhams on the square. So go check them out. Germain Designs. 2nd down and 5. Chris Williams hands off up the middle. And I believe that's Matthews or Cole. No, that's Fruit Cole. And Charles Moore makes the stop. Now, Charles Moore is the replacement for, guess who? Jario Garcia.
Maybe he did get cramps. Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Ty Crump's going to be in the slot. And it's coming near side is A.J. Florence into the ball game. David Douglas not into the game anymore. Chris Davis split out wide right. Chris Williams, the quarterback. Fruit Cole, the tailback. They're going to hand off to Fruit Cole, and he's going to go down immediately and lose 2 yards back to the 40-yard line. Corey Hall makes a stop for R.L. Turner.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got some new offensive linemen in the game. Looks like we've got second stringers in, getting some time, and as they should. Nice thing is they're looking pretty good, helping here in the fourth quarter get some ball running, the running game going, rather. It's the first game for us, too.
3:30 and rolling. Chris Williams on the option, spins out of one tackle, but down he goes at the 45-yard line. Another loss. Juan Santana for R.L. Turner drags him down at the 45. It's going to be 3rd down and a truckload for McKinney North, probably about 15.
That was a big loss right there. Williams just made the mistake of running backwards. Nothing was there, and he ran the other way.
Well, luckily in this situation, to play like that's not going to hurt the overall outcome, but you're going to have to, in closer game situations, watch out.
Under 3 minutes now. Williams and shotgun. Handoff Fruit Cole. Right guard. Nothing doing. Maybe a yard. Maybe 2 to the 44-yard line.
15 carries, 82 yards for Cole tonight. No touchdowns. Had 1 fumble. And, of course, McKinney North hasn't scored since the 3rd quarter. That Matthews 3-yard run with 2:23 remaining. Really just running the clock here.
So 21 in the first, 21 in the second, and 7 in the third. That's how McKinney North has scored their points tonight. 49-0, they lead R.L. Turner. Here's a punt by McKinney North.
Correct me if I'm wrong. First one of the game?
I believe so. I think that's the first time that we have seen Bryson Long tonight as he boots this one away, and that'll give R.L. Turner the ball with 2:03 left to go in the game, down 49-0. So they're 2-minute offense for R.L. Turner here.
Well, I don't know. The last time we saw them have to do anything with little time, they ran it out with 4.5 seconds left. So.
I don't know if they could overcome this deficit with Madden cheat codes. 49-0 with 2 minutes. That is quite a steep hill to climb.
Well, they're going to have to start off with 79 yards because that's how far they are away from pay dirt here. Shotgun, and that's Bernal, and he's going to run right guard up the middle now, cuts it back left side. Look out 30, and down there, almost enough for the first down. A 9-yard gain on first down. Bring up 2nd down and 1 with 1:50 and rolling left to go here in the fourth quarter. McKinney North coaches are stretching over here next to us because what a game they have.
They're ready for the bus ride home.
Yeah, you talk about new coaches coming in. How about your new offensive coordinator, Joe Castillo, who comes back to McKinney North after being here previously comes back, and I tell you what, his first game, he's got 49 points on the board. You can't argue with that.
Well, 49 is nice, but 56 is better.
Shotgun. This is going to be Bernal running again, and I think that's what head coach Larry McBroom has in mind with Matt Bernal at quarterback. I think you'll see more and more of him just running the football.
Well, and if you look at the play that he ran prior to that one, it was an intended pass play. Nothing opened up. He found a hole, and he took it and run. That's a good sign if you're R.L. Turner that the future quarterback might be fairly good, because that's a split-second decision that you have to make. And a lot of times they don't, but he saw the hole, knew he could get a lot of yards, and took it. And that's a good leadership sign.
Ball at the 31. First down and 10. Bernal's going to fake the hand. No, he gives it this time, and that's going to be his big fullback, Brent Bilger. And Bilger's going to gain about 6 out to the 37-yard line or so. Under a minute. 42 seconds on the clock and rolling. We need to speak down to John Leidy. John, this has got to be a great victory for McKinney North. Talk about the attitude of the players down on the sideline right now.
Attitude down here on the sideline is actually very positive. Everybody's enthusiastic. Even though it is 49-0 right now, they're just very up. A lot of these players, this is their first time on varsity, so they're actually enjoying this and liking the experience.
All right, thanks, John. Here's a pass by Bernal out left side, and once again overthrown and incomplete is Devontae Williams in coverage for McKinney North. It's a lot of backups are getting to play now.
Well, and I think one of the things you've seen here tonight, and Bernal being a young quarterback and Stanko being a young quarterback, the difference has been the situations their coordinators have put him in. Bernal's been throwing the ball down the field. If you notice, he hasn't been very successful at 3 of 17. Stanko, on the other hand, 10 of 15. A lot of his passes short route stuff. So they really played the Stanko straight tonight.
Well, this is going to be a keeper up the middle by Bernal, and that's going to be the end of the ball game. We're at 4 seconds, 3, 2, and one delicious second for McKinney North as they strap it on R.L. Turner tonight. And if there were any doubts about McKinney North and their offense, losing Herbal and Barrett and Mooney, you might have second thoughts after this game. 49-0, McKinney North over R.L. Turner. What a thrashing.
Well, and there's going to be people who say, yeah, look who you played. But again, you can put a Little League team up against, a high school team, and if the high school team's not good,
well, the bottom
it's not going to be something.
Bottom line is numbers don't lie. Only 3 first downs tonight for R.L. Turner. And that in itself is an impressive feat for the McKinney North defense to hold a team to 3 first downs the entire game. And as a matter of fact, only 1 first down in the entire second half. So
one thing we haven't mentioned tonight that we probably should have is R.L. Turner is a Class 5A school.
Yeah, well, and that was, it was brought up earlier.
You talk about a bad Class 5A school.
Yeah.
Should be on the same level with a pretty fairly even 4A school, and they're just not. They're not even. They're nowhere near the same level as McKinney North, at least not tonight. 49-0. We'll come back with some interviews in just a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, 49-0. Hey, goodbye. McKinney North says to R.L. Turner tonight. An incredible victory for McKinney North, as a lot of questions may have had some answers tonight. And let's go down on the field with John Leidy. John?
He's not ready.
Well, I thought John was ready. Let's see if John's ready down there. And he's not. So he's still trying to find some player. We want to mention our star of the game tonight. We already mentioned our Scholar Athlete of the Week, the Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week, which was Houston Beasley. The Torchmark Corporation star of the game, I think we can all say, and we can all pretty much agree, Damon Pitts is our Torchmark player of the game.
I thought we were going to go Garcia.
Well, you know what?
Pitts 11 carries, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Also had a 69-yard punt return for a touchdown. So Pitts off to a great start in 07.
And this is a guy who really came out of nowhere for us. And I like to think I'm pretty close to the team and know what's going on down there, and I had no idea that Damon Pitts was quite the athlete that he is.
Well, and this is what I talk about. Sean Pratt doesn't readily give information. He doesn't hide it. I mean, he'd be more than willing to help you if you asked. But because we didn't specifically say, hey, is Damon Pitts going to be a star running back? Exactly what he did was come out and he's got all the makings to be a star running back. The funny thing is if you look at the kid, he is a senior. So at some point that he came out of the blue, and now John's with him right now.
All right, check down with John.
I'm down here with McKinney North running back number 21, Damian Pitts, who scored 3 touchdowns rushing on the night and a punt and return on the night. How does that feel?
Feels good.
And what about the offensive line up there?
Oh, they were great tonight.
Okay, also, with your offensive line up there, you have Houston Beasley, Colton Dunkins is out tonight, but can you tell us a little bit more about that 2-back set?
The 2-back set, it was real good. I had a lead block, and the offensive line did a real good job.
Can we look forward to more of that in the future?
I hope so.
Okay, thank you. You have a great evening.
All right, John and Lighty trying to find a couple other players. Maybe Houston Beasley, our tutoring club scholar athlete of the week. And once we get back to McKinney, we'll have better communication with John. Right now, having a couple of problems, us being way up here and him being way down there. But we'll, like I say, week 1, eh?
Yeah, we'll iron things out. Here we go. Looks like John just now met up with him. Want to throw it to him?
Let's check down with John. All right, we'll check down with John.
Well, good times.
Maybe we won't check down with John.
Well, he had Houston right there. I don't know what exactly happened.
And maybe he can get a hold of Coach Sean Pratt at some point. Regardless, McKinney North puts it on R.L. Turner tonight, and I think he's walking over to Coach Pratt right now. And let's see if we can get a hold of John Lighting. Go ahead, John, if you're down there.
I'm down here with McKinney North head football coach Sean Pratt. How do you feel about tonight's victory?
Well, I feel like our kids bounced back very well. We last week, obviously, and we didn't approach our scrimmage like a game, even though we played it like a game. But we knew that the score was not, the difference in the two teams was not what the score showed, and we felt like we needed to bounce back tonight. I was proud of our kids coming out. Got a great week of practice, worked very hard, came out here tonight with a lot of enthusiasm. There's a lot of things. It's not 49-0 out here. We got a lot of things we got to fix. However, they approached the game the right way with a lot of enthusiasm, gave us tremendous effort, and we'll work on fixing all those other things. Just very proud of our kids right now, and our coaching staff did a great job.
And one last question. How do you feel about the new players for the team? Vince Stanko, Damian Pitts, all the new players that you have.
Sure. We graduated a big class that had been – bunch of those kids had played for sophomore, junior, and senior year, so we've got a lot of new faces out there. And those kids stepped up tonight and performed, and I think they'll continue getting better and better. They're young, but they're going to continue getting better and better.
Okay, well, thank you, and good luck next week with Denton. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, John Lighty, down on the sidelines there with head coach Sean Pratt of McKinney North after a 49-0 victory. A very happy Sean Pratt, yet realizing there's a lot to be done with this young football team. Even though it may look pretty good on the scoreboard within the game, there are always things that coaches can critique. I have firsthand experience of that on Saturday morning. Let's check down with John Lighty again, as I think he has another player with us.
Okay, I'm down here with number 59, Houston Beasley. Houston, did you know that you're actually the Scholar Athlete of the Week?
Not until just now, so it's a little bit of a surprise to me.
Well, we want to say congratulations on being the Scholar Athlete of the Week, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, he is our torch mark. Or actually, I'm sorry, he's our tutoring club Scholar Athlete of the Week.
I'm sure you can show up to Torchmark and ask for some help, some bright folks down there, but it's a little out of their set guideline.
Well, what Torchmark does is they have the star of the game, and the star of the game obviously tonight was Damon Pitts, and Jay will be able to give you his stats momentarily. Let's take a quick break. We will have stats, we will have highlights, and we will talk about where we'll be next week with McKinney and Saxe. Back in a moment. 49-0, McKinney North wins tonight over R.L. Turner. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.